Morning. This is Mike Chavis. This is the principal thing. In Proverbs chapter 4, the Bible says that wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, but in all you're getting, get an understanding. All right, so, y'all forgive me, I'm driving right here. So today I wanted to talk about submitting to something, and it's different, okay, because I think that, at least for me, I came to the understanding that there's two different ideas inside your head about submitting to something, and one is submission and one is not. I guess it would technically fit the definition of submission, but it doesn't fit the spirit of what it means to submit to something. So the first one is to allow something or someone else to have their way. All right? And the second one is to buy in, to aid in that thing, to accomplishing its goal, to where now you guys are both on board with accomplishing that thing that you submitted to. Okay. So it's like, and one of the best examples I can come up with is like lifting weights, right? So in lifting weights, it will be the difference between having a spotter and not having a spotter, right? So if I'm sorry, y'all, I'm driving, so I'm a little bit distracted. If I'm in a relationship and the other person in my relationship, I allow them to have dominance, meaning that, okay, we're going to go ahead, we're going to do it your way, right? But then all I do is I take all of the weight of the entire situation and just plop it on their shoulders, just throw it right in their lap, you know what I'm saying? Okay, well, go ahead then, do it. And I may not even be involved, or I'm only going to wait for your instructions, and I'm going to follow your instructions, to the letter, in a spirit of not really helping, you know what I'm saying, but doing enough to say, well, I let you do it your way. That to me is not real submission. You didn't really submit, right? Okay, so you just really you added to my burdens, and now I've got to become some Superman who's going to carry everything now. You know what I mean? With no help, and that to me is not real submission. Real submission to me involves buy-in, right? And that's the real submission, where you say, okay, hey, I want to do this thing or whatever, and the person says, well, I don't necessarily. The other person in the relationship says, well, I don't necessarily agree with doing it that way. Well, I think we should give it a try. Can you trust me enough to try it? Okay, we'll do it your way. What do you need from me? Okay, all right, I'm going to continue to carry this weight that okay, well, I see that this area, I'm going to continue to carry the weight that I was already carrying. And on top of that, now let me just, move in a manner that's going to aid what the common goal is. You know what I'm saying? Hey, express to me where are we trying to go to? Okay, we trying to go here? All right, well, I did notice, that we could take this route. We could take that route. Here's a suggestion. I saw this online. You know what I'm saying? A friend of mine did it this way. I just saw a news article that said that, so-and-so was successful in this, and it says that they did this and that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe one of the keys to it is this. Okay, so I'll do this part, or what part would you have me to do? Here's some more information. Okay. Hey, well, I noticed that, you overlooked this part right here. Did you want it this way? You know what? Actually, I didn't want it that way. Thank you so much for bringing that to my attention, I overlooked that. This is going to aid in the goal, in accomplishing the goal. You know what I mean? So it's buy-in is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's like having a spotter. You know what I'm saying? Your spotter there just doesn't, hold the bar, and when you're lifting weights or whatever, he doesn't just hold the bar. A good spotter is, counting for you. He's, come on, you one more, push it out. He's motivating you, you know what I'm saying? As well as he's there to hold the bar in case things fall apart, you know what I'm saying? But when you have somebody who, is saying that in their words they submit to you, and in their deeds they, they'll allow you to do whatever. They'll allow you, they'll allow you to take dominance, but won't assist in the goal. Won't assist in where we're trying to get to. Then this person is submitting, like sort of like in word only, but not in deed, not in their heart. They haven't submitted. And I think this is true a lot of the times in marriage. I think this is true a lot in work relationships. You got your boss there, but you're smarter than him. You've been doing it longer than him, and you're better at it than him. But he says go right when obviously we should be going left. You know what I mean? But submission, so you go right, but all along the way, oh man, I see that's about to fall apart over there. Oh well, not my business. You know what I'm saying? That's not real submission. And keep in mind, I'm not really saying that you should submit to your boss or whatever, in a sense that you should have a boss is what I mean. We all got to go out and do what we got to do, and for a lot of us, this is a in the meantime sort of a thing. Okay, while I'm developing my creative ventures, you know what I'm saying, or the things that I want to do for me, okay, then I need to go and have a job or whatever, and at that job I need to be submitted to the powers that be. Until I'm the powers that be, I need to be in submission, because it's the way that the Lord would have me to be. You know what I'm saying? God would have me to do my work in a spirit of excellence, unto him. Do your work as unto the Lord. So I need to be submitted in all things to the people who have been given charge over me. So but real submission in my relationship with Christ, in my relationship with, my wife, in my relationship with, my boss, whatever, my friendship with this person or that person, where in this particular instance, they have the lead or whatever, you know what I mean? And real submission is more like, okay, well, we're gonna set it up this way. Okay, great. All right, well, we're going to set it up. Even if I don't agree with it. All right, well, I don't really agree with that. Can you explain it to me? Well, I just want to do it this way. I can't really fully explain it. Or, oh, okay, this is why we're doing it this way. This is why we're doing it that way. Okay, great. All right, so, all right, we're going to do it this way. All right, so I see that we could do it that way. All right, you want me to go over here and handle this section? All right, don't even worry about this section no more. I'm going to take care of it. Is there anything in particular that you want me to focus on? You know what I mean? It's like really being, okay, so what I'm really talking about is teamwork makes the dream work. And just because you don't agree with the captain doesn't mean that you aren't required to be a good teammate. See, because it's very easy to lead, to go along with what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? It's very easy to call the shots, you know what I'm saying? And it's very easy to go along with someone who's calling the shots when they're calling them exactly the way you would call them. But then, of course, in our marriage, your husband says, well, we're just not going to get that this time. You know what I'm saying? But we need it. I don't see how this is going to work. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, you know what, babe? All right. If you say we're going to do that, okay. All right, well, I can squeeze in on the budget on that side, and I can sacrifice this or whatever. We'll do without that to get this. Submission to, The same thing for my wife or whatever, if she's suggesting that we do something this way. And I really want to make this clear too, because I said it 2 times, and I think you guys are probably thinking, that I don't have to submit, that the husband don't have to submit to the wife, and that's just not true. I believe we're supposed to submit ourselves one to another. You know what I mean? So at times I'm going to submit to her, and at times she's going to submit to me. And really and truthfully, if we can really touch on the heart of the matter, as long as we're both submitting to God, then things just seem to fall in place. You know what I'm saying? Now, there is no doubt that I'm the leader. It's not questioned. It's not, it's the order of things and the way it's supposed to be, according to the scriptures. Not according to Mike Chavis, but a leader is not a person. And see, so here's the other portion of submission too. You to the ones who want people to submit to them. It's no iron thumb. You know what I'm saying? I'm the rock. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't submit to my will, I'll crush you. You know what I'm saying? It's not that. That's not what a leader does. You know what I'm saying? A leader suggests. A leader firmly suggests. A leader will, remove people from the team who are not on board. You know what I'm saying? A leader will sacrifice and put in the extra work that's necessary to make the goal get accomplished, to accomplish the goal. So, picking up the slack is what I mean. You know what I mean? So, I see you fell short. Let me carry my weight and yours. Okay? So for everyone out there, every man, to men specifically, every man out there who wants to just be this dominant force in the relationship, which you should be, without the responsibility of that, you're out of balance. The authority is on an equal ratio to responsibility. You know what I mean? So if you want more authority, take on more responsibility. I mean, and it's the oldest saying in the book, that you got to pay the cost to be the boss. You know what I mean? So if you want to be in charge of this and be in charge of that and start paying for it. Start being the one who's sacrificing the most, and then have the most say. So, it's I think it's very opposite from how I think the misogynistic, way that the world has interpreted the things of the scriptures has the world in such a way where the man is supposed to sit back and and we have this image in our head where the man sits back on his padded leather chair and his ottoman, and he puts his feet up, and the woman has brought him this robe and his slippers, and he's got his pipe or whatever, you know what I'm saying, drinking a glass of scotch, and nothing wrong with that, right? And he, and his dinner is brought to him, right? And all these sorts of things or whatever. But let's keep in mind that was something that the woman in that situation did, because see, just that image gets carried over. But let's not forget the backstory. The backstory of that is that he single-handedly provided for that house. You know what I'm saying? He's the only one who went out to work. You understand? He's the only one who worked. He's the only one who provided everything, and the life of luxury that they live in was by the sweat of his brow. You know what I'm saying? It was by his shoulders and his back. And so the treatment that he received was in honor to his sacrifice. And so, and still the image just doesn't, there's never the image of the man helping wash the dishes or cleaning the bathroom or changing diapers and these sort of things or whatever. But I just really feel like the person who's supposed to be the one to hold everything together has to be the person focused at the spot where things are going to fall apart. If I'm supposed to be the one that's holding it together, It's supposed to rest on my shoulders. Then at the place where I'm needed. And it's an old gospel song said, the blood rushes to the place that hurts the most. And what it's really saying is that at the point where I'm needed is where the point that I rush to. Not, so if my wife is, taking care of the girls and doing this and that and trying to teach Aiden, his schoolwork or whatever, then maybe I need to jump up and wash the dishes. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe I need to go ahead and throw that load of clothes in the washing machine. And I don't know why I'm getting off on this, but I don't know why grown men act like they can't wash their own clothes and cook their own food and wash their own dishes. You put that dish in the sink. And I'm not saying you got to wash all, however it works in your marriage, is whatever it works. But what I'm saying is to be unwilling to lend a hand is unsupportive. If you had your own business, you would want that woman to aid you in the business, to buy in. You would want that woman to sacrifice what she was doing to aid in what you believed is going to provide financial freedom and, whatever, a better life, that's the words I'm looking for your family. And you would want her to help you in your work. And at the same point in time, the way that the structure has been broken down is that it's, her job to take care of the house. Okay, so, and let's speak about most situations. In most situations, that woman got to go to work, and it's still, in your mind, her responsibility to solely take care of the things of the house and the children. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But then, so her sacrifice is the one that's the most, and you wonder why she has the balance of the power. So, she's sacrificing the most. You can't do without her. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that it's a competition of who can do without who. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that we need to not be equal, because I don't believe that in a relationship me and my wife should be equal. I don't believe that we should be equal in authority. And I don't believe that we should be equal in responsibility. But back to submission. Anyway, I don't know why I got off on that one, but back to submission. It's like another example, for the married couples. There, it's like when you're having sex, right? So if I say, I'm gonna be on top or whatever, you know what I mean? And but then, so my wife just sort of sits there, dead fish, dead weight, won't do nothing, you know what I'm saying? She's allowed me to take dominance, but she has not submitted. She's not bought into, the idea that I'm going to be in control of how this thing's going to go. You know what I'm saying? She's not aiding in, this thing for us both to reach our common goal. You know what I'm saying? So, or if she says that, she's going to be on top, and I just sort of sit there, I just sort of sit there. I grab my phone. Yeah, I grab my phone and start, playing Candy Crush on my phone or something like that or whatever. That's not. I haven't submitted to I haven't yielded. A huge part of the word submit, the definition of it is yield. To yield, capitulate. To allow. I'm allowing, but the word yield brings more of a connotation of to aid in, you know what I'm saying, like to help us, to now I'm on your team, you know what I'm saying? So, and so, if you, instead of, so just think about it this way, in the relationships that you have to submit, where you have to be the person who submits and you're not the person who's dominant. Well, in relationships where you're the one who's dominant, remember not to rule over the people who have to submit to you with an iron fist, in a manner in which you wouldn't want somebody to do you. You know what I mean? Because it's one thing I always say is that never ask somebody to do something that you wouldn't do, and never do anything that you wouldn't ask somebody to do. Like if somebody asking you to do something that you wouldn't ask somebody to do, I just don't feel like you should do it because it's something that you wouldn't do. You know what I mean? Like, and vice versa. I shouldn't ask anybody to do something that I wouldn't do. So don't rule over people. You're the boss at your job or whatever. You don't have to get angry and upset. A lot of decisions don't require emotion. You feel what I'm saying? It's when our emotions are out of balance and we're too emotional about things that we wind up translating our emotions into our actions, and it can lead us astray. You know what I mean? Okay, yes, I'm the boss. Yes, I did ask you to do that. Okay, you are being insubordinate. Okay, well, I'm going to have to write you up. There's no emotions involved in that. You were being insubordinate, I had to write you up. You were being insubordinate, I had to send you home. You refused, whatever. And I never had to raise my voice to do it. I didn't have to get upset. Maybe I should ask a question and find out why you don't want to do it. Maybe I should try explaining it to you a little bit further to get you to buy in, And so with that being said, I'm glad I said that actually. To the ones when you're in the dominant position, there's a way you should explain it so that, it's almost like you're selling it. If you want them to buy in, then sell it to them. You know what I mean? And explain it to them that this is the way it should go, and these sorts of things. So just like, and I keep coming back to this sex example, but just like, you're having sex, you're the one who's dominant. You say, yeah, go ahead, arch your back. Let me give you some instructions. Now let me get up underneath you like this. You understand? So you're helping. I'm helping her to buy in because I'm explaining to her what I want her to do so that we can, both get there where we're trying to go. And to when you're in the position of submission, also, there's someone else who's dominant. There's someone else who is in control. Submit and don't just throw all the weight in their direction. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, just boom, plop. You die. Well, you said you wanted to be in control. Now you take it all. Take, handle everything all by yourself, and I'm just gonna be over here. Now you got control. Ain't that what you wanted? Sort of, sarcastically, or in a way that's not really aiding, not really helping, but intended in your emotions and intentions to hurt the situation. Be a real team player. Don't just say, all right, well, he got it, man. You know what I mean? Forget it then. I ain't gonna do nothing. These dishes need to be washed, man, that's what they got a dishwasher for. I ain't helping. So-and-so is going down on apps. My steak ready. My pizza ready. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's like, you're not really there to help. You haven't bought in to making the entire goal, to making the goal of the person who is dominant your goal. And so, again, with a sex example, throw it back. You know what I'm saying? Don't just, what I'm saying? Like, don't just sit there and let me do what I do. You know what I'm saying? But talk to me. Give me some encouragement. You know what I'm saying? Throw it back. Be into it as well. You know what I'm saying? For the guys, lift up with you you know what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Be in it too. Okay? So And if the person who is dominant doesn't know how to do it, give them some pointers. Help them with your experience. You know what I mean? She riding, but she don't know how to ride. No. Follow this rhythm right here. You understand what I'm saying? No, bounce with it, you know? But, you know, I'm just saying. You feel me? Like, be a real team player. Aid the person who is supposed to be dominant. And really buy in to the goal, because that's how you will want it done if you were the one who was dominant, because it's their name on the line, you know. So anyway, just, you know, that's pretty much it. Whoa, that's 26 minutes. So I didn't mean to talk that long, but what really got me is I went off on this tangent about how men want to, you know, they want all of the power and none of the responsibility. But Spider-Man told you with great power comes great responsibility. Shout out to Uncle Ben, you know what I mean? R.I.P. You feel me? But I'm going to go ahead and end it there, y'all. Man, I just want y'all to take that in or whatever, and I hope I wasn't yelling too much, man, you know. But we gotta do better, if, you know. And I was watching something last night that says, you know, people who have power are afraid to share power in the belief or in the fear that they're gonna lose their power. But in actuality, when you share power with people, you empower people, and we all become more powerful. And this is the essence of what I'm saying. Thank you, Lord. That's the essence of what I'm saying. So even you being, you know, you're the alpha type in, you know, in all your relationships, but now you are in a situation where you have to take the beta role, then be a beta for a moment. You know what I'm saying? But not in the sense that you shut off, but in the sense that you are the best wingman ever. You know what I'm saying? It's no shame in being a wingman. No, you're not the one flying the ship, but you the lookout. You're not flying the ship. You're not the one flying the plane, but you the lookout. You taking control of the controls that you know aren't for flying. You're doing everything else. He's flying and steering. You're doing everything else. That's a real wingman. Be somebody's wingman instead of being a hater, dog. Like, for real. Like, don't be a hater, bro. Because that's what a hater does. Hey, all right, man, you got it. I'm going to let you try to fly this whole plane. Every pilot got a co-pilot. In all the movies, when the co-pilot died, when the pilot died and the co-pilot got to take over, yeah, he could do it, but now it's a serious situation. Be somebody co-pilot. Everybody need a co-pilot. I'm sorry, man. I don't mean to be yelling, man, but we got to do better, man. We got to share power. You're so greedy and afraid. Greedy and afraid. And it's causing relationships to be ruined when they could be grew in. Shout out Apostle Malone for having me on this alliteration. No, but anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end it there, man. And so I discovered in life that if God be glorified, then the saints will be fortified, and the devil will be horrified. And y'all be blessed. This is the principal thing with Michael Chambers.